Today, I choose to wake up with a smile on my face and joy in my heart. I choose to have the right attitude, and I will stand tall with my purpose in mind. I will overcome the obstacles that stand in my way because I say it so. And my words have power. I can serve others and not lose my own identity. For I believe in myself. I believe in much laughter, and I believe in ending well. For I know that in God all things are possible. And I know that my joy is authentic and complete. This is the day that God has made. I will laugh, I will jump for joy and be glad in it. For this is the day that God has made. I will make a choice to rejoice and be glad in it, not after it, in it. But wait, you say, the day is really not that great. Doesn't affect my choice to rejoice. But wait, you say, the day brought its own set of troubles. Doesn't affect my choice to rejoice. For joy is a spiritual advantage that will lift you and sustain you and bring increase into your life and the lives of those connected to you. So one joy, it scatters 100 griefs. Consider it pure joy. With many challenges come your way, for they have arrived to make you strong. You know, joy exists in the midst of a grateful life, not a perfect scenario. So consider it pure joy, even with the disappointments. For when I don't feel the part, I can still act the part until I become the part. So joy is still my choice, and a smile is my gateway there. Peter Kraft said it this way: pleasure and happiness have nothing of that air of eternity about them that joy has. Experience explosive joy erupting in the lives of the people you touch. So on tomorrow, I will continue to say, this is the day that God has made. I will be glad in it. So joy is simply my choice. One day I was listening to Mere Words and I got so excited. The next day I was listening to Mere Words and I felt so hopeless. I heard you say it. Did you hear what I said? It's not what you say, it's what I say after you say it. You see, out of the mouth, we speak life or death. Your most dominant thought is moving you toward your most common words. Your most common words are moving you toward your most common actions. And your most common actions are driving a lifestyle. We must not allow our words to become distractions to our destiny. The words we listen to and the words we speak, they have power over our lives. Our words are framing our world. So, let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be found acceptable in God's sight. You see, won't? That's a word of retreat. And can't? Well, that's a word of defeat. Will? That's a word of beauty. Words were not meant to just describe. They were meant to create. So I imagine and I call those things that be not as though they were, because my words have creative power. That's a word of responsibility. Believe, well, that's a word of achievement. And all, that's a word of duty. That's the word of the hour. And R, that's a word of hope. But possible, love that word. That's a word of power. I believe all things are possible. You know, my words have created power, and so do yours. So when my words speak of my dreams, they fulfill. And when my words speak of my frustrations, they destroy. So, my friend, let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be found acceptable in God's sight. When we are convicted in our heart and mind of what our purpose is, everything else falls into perspective. You know, if purpose can fill your mind, it can fill your life. Because so as a man thinks, he becomes. The real power of purpose is its ability to remove all of life's distractions. For we must remember that we were not meant to soar everywhere. We were created to breathe purpose into each new day. Max Lucado said, God endows us with gifts so we can make Him known. Your purpose is revealing God in you. So do what you can with what you've been given, where you are. You know, our greatest value to each other is doing the thing we were created to do. The question is, who is waiting to be helped by the fulfillment of your purpose? For everything there is a reason, and behind every result there was a decision. Whether known or unknown, purpose prevails. Your purpose is to show who God is through your life. And when you do that, purpose gives you vision. And vision gives us reach. And it gives us hope, and it keeps us alive inside. So I challenge you today. Let purpose drive your thinking. Let purpose choose your friends. Let purpose become your best time manager. And even let purpose become your strategy. For purpose will alert you to the possibilities, and it will define the path. You know, without purpose, we are just simply producing motion. Being a part of God's purpose is the real reason you showed up on purpose. Purpose is the decision, and you, my friend, are the decision maker. There is a time for everything and a season for every activity. There's a time to tear down and a time to build up. A time to weep and a time to laugh. A time to keep and a time to throw away. A time to be silent and a time to speak. Yes, there is a time and a season for everything. A time to act, a time to reflect, and then a time to rest. There was a man who had 4 sons. He wanted his sons to learn not to judge things too quickly. So he sent them each on a quest to go and look at a pear tree that was a great distance away. The first son went in the winter, the second in the spring, the third in summer, and the youngest son in the fall. When they had gone and come back, he called them together to describe what they had seen. The first son said that the tree was ugly, it was bent, and it was twisted. The second son said no, it was covered with green buds and full of promise. The third son disagreed. He said it was laden with blossoms that smelled so sweet and looked so beautiful. It was the most graceful thing he had ever seen. The last son disagreed with all of them. He said it was ripe, it was drooping with fruit, it was full of life and fulfillment. The man then explained to his sons that they were all right because they had each seen but one season in the tree's life. He told them, you cannot judge a tree or a person by only one season, and that the essence of who they are and the pleasure and joy and love that comes from their life can only be measured at the end when all the seasons are up. If you give up when it's winter, you will miss the promise of your spring. You will miss the beauty of your summer and the fulfillment of your fall. So don't let the pain of one season destroy the joy of all the rest. Don't judge life by one difficult season. Persevere through the difficult patches. And God promises that better times are sure to come. The flames of inspiration should not be extinguished by obstacles. Winston Churchill said, a pessimist sees the difficulty in every opportunity, and an optimist sees the opportunity in every difficulty. You see, life is formed from the inside out. What I am inside determines my responses to the issues of life. Charles Swindoll said, we cannot change the past. We can't change the fact that there will be people who will disappoint us or maybe even betray us. We can't change the inevitable, but we can play one string that we all have. And that string, my friend, is our attitude. It is our response to life. You see, weeping may endure through the night season, but be assured, my friend, joy will come in the morning. It is not what we are going through. It's what we're going to. You see, life is this daring adventure or nothing at all. The tough circumstances, they do not come to destroy you. They simply reveal who you are. So I am not defeated, and I choose to never give up, because hope has the ability to spring eternal. And my faith, it causes me to never surrender, because I know that the end of the matter with God is always good. And if it's not good, it's just not the end of the matter. Martin Luther King said, everybody can be great because anybody can serve. He said, you don't have to have a college degree to serve. You only need a heart full of grace and a soul generated by love. Love is the foundation of service. For if I speak with all eloquence, and perhaps I speak even with angelic ecstasy, but I don't love, I'm nothing but the squeaking of a rusty gate. So no matter what I say, or no matter how articulate I am, no matter how much I give or what I do, I am simply bankrupt without love. And love cares for others. Love doesn't insist on its own way. Love doesn't have a swollen head or an arrogant attitude, doesn't keep score of wrong. Love looks for the best, and it keeps going to the end. Love trusts God always. So hope endlessly, trust steadily, love extravagantly, and serve continuously. For no one is useless in the world who lightens the burdens of others. One day I was standing at the copier and I made a copy. I soon lost the original, so I had to make a copy from the copy. I still couldn't find the original, so I continued to just make a copy of the copy until all the information began to fade. I had to find the original so I could read the content. Well, my friend, you are the original. And we need you to remain the content that you were created to be. You see, I discovered that a copy of a copy leads to a blank page. If both of us are identical, one of us is unnecessary. It was another day, and I was just simply reading the stories of those who were called great. I didn't find my story there. Yeah, I did it. I stopped and I made the comparison. And it led me down the road of frustration. Suddenly I had lost all of my identity. You see, it's not wise to compare ourselves among ourselves. For eventually, it's either going to lead us to frustration, or even worse, it could lead us to arrogance. I start to think one person lives his identity with the accolades of millions. Another person lives his identity with the accolades of thousands. Perhaps there are those who live their identity with the accolades of hundreds. But you know what I found? There's still somebody out there simply living their identity unnoticed. But the power of identity, I find, is not strengthened in approval of others. It's strengthened in authenticity. There is nothing like an original to excite us. Yes, we've all felt the need to find a lesser priced copy. But you know what? Originals set the standard, and they create the value that we all want. When you bring the value of identity, it's not what you wear. It's not even what you're driving. It's not where you live. It's who you are, but it's also whose you are. So you be the one God has created you to be, with all the original content. That's what we need. There is nothing like being authentic and complete. Anything that we've been assigned to do, we can do it. Because with God, all things are possible. Possible. What a powerful word. Let's see possible. P is for purpose. Each of us comes into the world with an assignment to fulfill, to show who God is. O, for overcoming the obstacles. You see, it's not what we're going through, it's what we're going to. S, say it so. Our words have the power to create our atmosphere and to fulfill our life's dreams. S, serve. Serving is simply to do all we can to make the world a better place. I is for identity. Remember that the copy of a copy makes a blank page. B, believe. You see, two opposing thoughts cannot have residence in one mind. So we must know in what and whom we believe. And L is for laughter. While your doctor may not prescribe it, it's the best medicine for what ails you. And the last letter E, ending well. Each day, end well. Each week, end well. Each month, end well. And every year, well, end well. For the end of the matter with God is always good. And if it's not good, it's simply not the end of the matter.